Hi, this is Kyle from APS, and I'm here to share with you how to choose offshore boots and rubber sailing boots. So what do boots do for you? Three key things. Number one, they help keep your foot dry. They contribute to keeping your foot warm, and they also help you keep your grip on the deck and not slip. Material-wise, we have kind of a broad family in the more basic entry-level boots. We have a rubber or a PVC boot. As we move into the offshore, we get into a leather boot. Here we have a neoprene boot. It's neoprene throughout with a rubber boot body. And then this is a synthetic boot with a rubber sole on it. Scenario-wise, so which type of boot's best for you? Well, what kind of sailing are you doing? Are you in the tropics and you're in bare feet and you really don't need boots? Are you doing some near-shore sailing and you're only out for short periods of time and you're going to head in and this might get you by and this would definitely get you by? Are you doing some maybe coastal sailing and you're out for longer periods of time exposed to bad conditions for extended periods? You start to really move out of here and move into an offshore boot and the comfort and protection they offer you. And then if you're getting into passage making, where you're wearing boots day in, day out, you're definitely over here in the offshore category. I'm going to take you through the key features that will help you decide which features you need in a boot for the type of sailing you're doing. Starting with insulation, even if it's summertime, if it's raining all day, sun's behind clouds, it can actually get chilly out there. So no matter what the conditions are, you need to have some sort of insulation plan. So first question is, are the boots helping you keep your feet warm? With PVC and rubber boots, there's no insulation value. As we move into these microporous Gore-Tex type boots, they have a thin insulation added to them. And then when we get into a neoprene boot like this one right here, the thicker the neoprene, the warmer the boot will be. Next, breathability. They're all waterproof, but what if you've got moisture inside the boot? You've been really working hard on the boat, your feet have been perspiring, and moisture's collecting. Well, you want that moisture to come out. Wet feet, moist feet, or cold feet. With rubber boots, you don't have the ability. They don't breathe, so the moisture is going to be trapped in there with your foot and your socks. As we get into these microporous, these Gore-Tex, these are going to be continuously allowing that moisture to escape the boot as long as you're wearing wicking layers, wicking socks. When we get down to the neoprene, neoprene is a closed cell material. It's 100% waterproof, but it's not breathable. So again, just like the rubber ones, moisture will be trapped inside the boot. Let's see, next, fit. Now, if you're out on a boat for any length of time and it's pitching, it's rolling, and it's heeling, that's a lot of strain on your feet, your ankles, the muscles in your legs. You really need a comfortable boot for sure footing and for just overall comfort over time. So fit-wise, in the toe bed here, you want to try these on with the socks you're going to wear, and once you've got them on, you want to make sure that your toes are not touching. You can wiggle them, they're free. That you're getting some good support through here. Your foot's not moving back and forth. In the heel here, you want to be able to just barely touch. Like if you kick your foot all the way forward, you should be able to get one finger, and that's about it, behind your foot and the beginning of the boot. And that allows your heel to move just a little, but you should feel that the cup has kind of got your foot from moving side to side too much. And then inside, you want to make sure that this is not too narrow and it's not too tight on your calf. Some of these have a stretch panel here to allow if your calf is a little bit bigger than the boot. And then the opposite is true. You don't want this to be gaping open where it's hard to get your trouser over it and the trouser doesn't want to ride freely over the boot. Lastly, gaiters. If you're going to be out in extreme offshore conditions where you've got water over the deck, what happens is obviously the boot is waterproof all the way up here. You've got your trouser over top classically, and if water shoots towards you over the deck, it can come up inside the trouser and into the boot. So a gaiter is once you've got your trouser in here, is your first line of defense. When you've got rushing water, it doesn't have a chance to be channeled up your trouser, and any water that does get inside of these just drains out of the drains that are built into them. Lastly, I'm going to talk about socks in sailing boots. They're going to do two things for you. They're going to keep your foot insulated and warm, and they're going to wick moisture, perspiration away from your foot. Dry foot is a warm foot. Now, one type of sock material not to use is cotton. It's the worst. It is a sponge. It will draw and hold moisture right against your foot, and that's not comfortable, and it's cold. If you move into a synthetic sock, they do a great job of wicking moisture away from your foot and, depending on the weave, providing a good insulation layer. Where they come up a little bit short is if you're in a rubber boot that doesn't breathe, well, there's nowhere for that moisture to go that's been pulled away from your skin. Or if you're in a breathable boot and you've really been working out on the boat hard, your feet have perspired a lot, and it'll take a while for the boots to expel all that moisture. Where does it go? With synthetics, they can't absorb moisture, so your foot starts to feel moist and wet again. So enter merino wool, a great material for wicking moisture, a good insulator, and if there's nowhere for the moisture to go, merino wool can also temporarily absorb moisture, keeping your foot dry. So insulation that you add to your boot is going to obviously be a factor of how thick the socks are. Warm conditions, you could use a sock liner, a medium merino, or if you can see how plush this really heavyweight winter sock is. If you're in really extreme conditions, I'd recommend getting a very thin sock liner. Its job is to just wick moisture away from your foot, and wearing a heavy merino over top of that, again, wicking the moisture away and adding more insulation. For more information on sailing boots, visit the APS advisor at apsltd.com.